Hello! This is Cooking's Easy channel. Today we'll cook bird's milk cake by my grandma's recipe. The recipe is in the description box. I have one more recipe like this, but this one is a new, let's say, upgraded version. It's my grandma's recipe, and it's not a souffle. Perhaps it's my favorite cake ever, and it is associated with my childhood, my granny, my birthdays. So let's get started. Stay with me till the end. First of all, gelatin. Make sure that it's fresh. Don't mix different brands of gelatin. The result can upset you. Pour gelatin into a bowl. Pour some water into the gelatin. Set it aside when you're preparing the cake. Now let's make a sponge cake. We need 4 eggs, separating yolks and whites. Add a pinch of salt to the whites and beat until a thick foam. Separately, I'll beat the egg yolks. For 4 eggs, we need 4 tablespoons of sugar, 2 into whites and 2 into yolks. Beat for a minute or 2. Sugar in the yolks may not dissolve. Yolk's mass has gotten bigger and brighter. Remove the whisk. Add the yolks into the whites. Carefully stir everything in one direction. Sift 4 tablespoons of flour and add to the mass. Stir with a spatula, don't use the mixer. Here we have homogeneous and airy dough. No soda or baking powder, just put it into the oven. But if you can't make it spongy, add some baking powder. Maybe you're not sure about your oven, or there are any other risks that your cake will not raise and get spongy, and you're cooking it for some special occasion, and you have to be sure in the dough. Then feel free to add a teaspoon of baking powder. But I never use baking powder, and the cake becomes spongy and airy. You need a mold of 28 centimeters in diameter. I've cooked it for many times, so I assure you that a smaller mold won't be enough. Once I made a mistake and took a mold of 26 centimeters, and I had a real trouble. I didn't know what to do with the dough, for there was too much of it. In the end, I had to transfer it to another mold. Cover the bottom with the parchment. Sprinkle with flour or grease with the butter. Don't grease the sides. Pour the dough in. Even the top. Switch on the oven when you start beating the eggs. Preheat the oven to 360 degrees. The cake needs 20 to 25 minutes to get ready, but not more. Anyway, not more than 30 minutes. The cake shouldn't be high. That's why the diameter of the mold should be 28 centimeters. Check if it is ready with a toothpick. Take the cake out of the mold with the help of knife. It'll get a bit lower, but it's natural for this type of dough. When I put today's dough to the oven, it first raised by about 1 centimeter and then evenly got down when ready. As I've used 4 eggs, my cake is even high. Use a knife to take the cake out of the mold very carefully. Turn the cake over. Let it cool. I don't bake it in advance. While I work with all other ingredients, the cake will cool down. Wash the mold as we need it to make the cake. We need 10 eggs for the cream. In fact, the biggest part of the cake is made of cream. We're going to make a custard. Separate whites and yolks. The whites are used without any preparation. A lot of my subscribers write to me and ask about eggs disinfection, in particular when we use raw eggs for cooking. We need to buy good eggs. I mean, if we eat them raw, they wouldn't cause any harm for us. We need to make sure that they are safe for health. So, how to save our health when consumption of raw eggs? First, buy eggs of well-known producers. We understand that the producer guarantees the quality for us. You shouldn't buy cheap eggs or the ones of unknown company. My grandma used to buy 200 to 300 eggs and kept them at home. Don't make disinfection for all the eggs at once. After disinfection, you can't keep them for a long time. First, they need to be washed with water, then with soda. There is also a substance called chloramine. You can buy it in a pharmacy. And there are also vet pharmacies. They also sell substances for disinfection. Chloramine is a powder that is diluted with boiled water. Put the eggs in it for a few minutes and they are ready to use, or just use soda. I know that some people use hydrogen peroxide with water to wash the eggs after soda. Well, it's up to you what kind of disinfection to use. Put the whites into the fridge and beat the yolks. Add a glass of sugar, vanilla sugar, and a tablespoon of flour. Mix everything for 2 to 3 minutes. Add a glass of milk. It can be cold. Mix everything again. You can do it without mixer. Pour the mess into a small saucepan. Pour some water into a bigger saucepan and put a saucepan with the cream inside. Stir the cream while the water is boiling. The cream will get thick. You need 20 minutes for it. You don't have to be near all the time. Just watch it from time to time. I will show you all the stages of the cooking. After 15 minutes, look how thick it is. But it should be even thicker. I'll wait 5 minutes more. The cream is ready. Cool it down to 100 degrees. You can hold a finger in it. If you have a cooking thermometer, you can measure 100 degrees. We are waiting for everything to cool down. When the cream has cooled down, add butter. Stir with a spoon. That's our cream. It's so tasty. The yellow color depends on the yolks. Now let's beat the whites. Beat the whites first on a slow speed, then on the high. Look how thick it is. Add a glass of sugar. Beat until the sugar is dissolved. The gelatin is ready too. Put it into the microwave to melt. Remember, just melt it, don't boil. Whites with sugar are ready. Look, they are so thick. Take a bowl, put the whites there. Add the cream. Add the whites from the top down. With a wooden or a silicone spatula, stir up until smooth. While stirring, add the gelatin. Check the temperature with your finger. It's barely warm. Add the gelatin. Stir everything. Look, we have a homogeneous mass. I've stirred for 7 minutes. Take the mold in which we've baked the cake. Cover the bottom with parchment. Cut the sponge cake into 2 parts and put the first layer. On top we pour the cream. Even the top. Cover the top with another layer of the sponge cake. Press it a bit to let the cream distribute evenly. Tighten it with a cling wrap. Put into the fridge for 2 to 3 hours. Everything depends on the gelatin. Now icing. Take a saucepan, pour in some water, and put inside a smaller one. I use dark cocoa. It is more delicious. Add sugar here. You can add vanilla, but today I will not add it. Add the milk. Do it very slowly, stirring with whisk. It should be more watery, so I add more milk. The amount of milk can vary because of different cocoa. The difference is in several spoons. Now it is not homogeneous, somewhere with lumps of cocoa. On low heat, stir it with a whisk for 10 to 15 minutes. Cocoa must dissolve and be smooth and glossy. People ask me why I cook sweet cocoa and don't cook ganache. It's because of taste. Icing from cocoa has a slightly bitter taste. So I don't add too much sugar to remain this bitterness. In combination with sweet cake, it will be very tasty. Mixture of taste is important. Salty and sweet, sour and sweet, and here we have bitter cocoa and sweet cake. Ganache is too sweet for this cake. In some cakes, we need to cook such icing as for the bird's milk cake. Look, it's homogeneous and tasty. Now turn off the heat and you can add a piece of butter, about a tablespoon. Stir it to be glossy. Let it cool down. Take the cake out of the fridge. Open the mold and remove the cake carefully. put the cake onto the grates. I usually put a carton. It's more practical. Take a wooden spatula and get the cake from the bottom. Put the cake onto the carton. Cover the cake with the icing. Cover the whole cake. Now look what we have. You can even eat as you like. Sometimes I use a spoon to make some strange and beautiful patterns. I don't decorate the top, only with pieces of orange. It's just for my husband. As the cake has been in the fridge for 2 hours, it's ready now. I can cut it. We can wait for 1 more hour, so the icing will get harder, but I won't do that. So, that's how the cake looks on the inside. 2 thin layers of sponge cake, airy and tender cream inside. I want to try it. I love it. It's my favorite cake. The taste of childhood is delicious. It's beautiful even inside. Remember, time in the fridge depends on the type of gelatin. So that's our masterpiece for today. Time to try. My favorite cake, my grandma's recipe. If you haven't tried it yet, you've lost a lot. It is so delicious. My husband is ready to eat even the middle part only. He says, "Oля, there is no need to cook any dough. Just cook the cream and that's it." You can decorate the top with the white or milk chocolate. Do not hesitate to cook it. It's just a perfect dish for dessert. First, people often say, "Oh, bird's milk is just a usual souffle." But then they try this cream and they are impressed with its taste. It's so delicious. Try it, like and share this video. Thanks for being with me today. Watch other recipes on my channel. Write comments, subscribe to my channel. Bye bye!